thirsty. I am thirsty. Hello. I had to get off for a minute and give me some ice. So I had me something to drink. I was thirsty and I couldn't go to sleep. How y'all doing? I'm in the process, like I told you all. I told y'all some of the stuff home that's on my page. And with all this investigations and stuff been going on, I've been tired of it. I have yet to fully enjoy life. I mean, like, when everything was kind of okay, while I was being the doctor and judge and all that, doing my family vacation stuff, taking my vacation, I always including my children. I never tried to find a babysitter during vacation time. Only when I went to work. I owned clubs. My kids can go in clubs. See, people don't realize it depends on what type of club you got. Kids can go in clubs, of course. They just can't drink nothing, no alcohol or anything. And at that time, I didn't have like a bag crowds or anything like that. But my point to this is that, with me owning grocery stores and clothing lines, and I'll be honest, a lot of things I was going to let go. Now, I'm the one, that officially brought back NBA. Okay, it was failing and all that other stuff. I saved a lot of things that are needed in society. Do you know fun and laughter and gatherings, peaceful gatherings, are needed in your life? I'm a doctor, I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm a psychologist. I'm both. A medical doctor, everything. Scientist. And laughter, harmony, peaceful moments. If you just don't know, do nothing but see an orchestra, a symphony or something. These things are needed in life. It's needed. It's needed. Have you ever go do something to take your mind off of something? Some people go to drinking or whatever, but you can find more recreational things. It just depends on that time and that moment and what's going on, of course, But it'll take your mind for a minute, and make you focus like, hey, I am really enjoying myself. But my point is that I have been trying to let a lot of things that I own go, Yeah, I'm sure y'all heard of the Rainbow store. And Rainbow is just like Sheen, Tamu, my little smaller stores. They have nice stuff. Stuff that you can wear to work too. Or just stuff to lounge in. But I have it. I had one particular person. I just had her modeling. And that's Kimora Simmons when I first came out with Baby Fat. That's my line. Designs, everything. Baby Fat I made that design for mothers and fathers who like to dress alike. Yeah. I always made matching stuff for the whole family. If they they already got kids. And sometimes be just stuff for the mama and daddy, And because what I used to do, it's like if they buy a whole outfit or whatever, they got little kids, I get it, little kids the outfits for free. And I wasn't trying to really profit off of Baby Fat like that because I knew the line, I knew what it brought. I was in the hood. And I was thinking reasonable. A lot of people want to do things together with their families and everything. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. And I was a go-to person. Hey, you can pull me to the side, holler at me, keep it real with me, what you want to do. That's me. Now, I would never put myself in the hole. Meaning that I got to make sure I make my money back, for one. Okay? So I wasn't being stupid. But Baby Fat was my line. I used to have Kimora just modeling. She just changed my whole image. My whole image of her. Oh, I was so pissed. Then she got to try and tell people it was hers. Oh no. We fell out real bad. Real bad. You know? But the thing is, I was thinking about closing out a lot of stuff. This investigation had been going on since 2007. Some of this stuff, because it was some new occurrences. And then I had already wrapped up some other stuff in the 90s about some kids and they got killed. And, you know, I'm still looking for my babies, got kidnapped. And I was always I was at the courts turning it up and putting everybody in court. If I had to get a warrant out in your nickname and say you hang on this block, we'll send the sheriffs around there in the neighborhood, or you know, such and such. Sure. You know that dude they call Water? I'm just making up a name. He always here with y'all. We got pictures. Now tell me y'all don't know. I mean, y'all ain't in trouble here, and she just got to show up for court. You know, when we were trying to figure out, did he know he had any kids or something? That's the type of stuff we was on. Because we had a lot of bad mommies. You know, doing their kids wrong. Because the daddies didn't want them and all this other stuff. So we don't care about the sob story about who won, who is the point is, who's the father and who's the mother. Because we caught a couple of them, they weren't even their kids. Oh, this woman ain't talking now. Well, maybe nothing. Now we got to take you into the hospital. We got to get a CT done of your, you know, your pelvic area. Then we got to do ultrasound because we got to see your wound and, you know, your uterus. And we got to look. We got to have a doctor go check you. I'm talking about see if your hymen been broke. We have to check everything. And meanwhile, not only that, we're going to sit down before you in your face. So that's the hospital you was at, huh? Let me tell you something. C-section, natural birth, you'll never forget the room you wake up in. You know what room they took you to when you got out, after you gave birth to your child. If you didn't give birth in that room. You have some hospitals where the birthing room is the room you are already in. It's already set up for everything. Especially those ones, not C-section people can't do that. They got to go into an operating room and all that. But you're doing your natural birth. Hey, they got the bed right there with your stirrups. Sure. You know, doctor keep checking you with the fingers and everything. Everything they need when the baby come out right there. You know, those things you do not forget. You do not, even if it hurt, you don't forget that pain. I was telling my baby Shy, I said, girl, when I had you, because I told her, I had a cesarean. I said, I was crying so bad. And I knew why I was crying. I cried so bad. Now, I didn't cry when they gave me the cesarean. I was woke. I was woke when I had my baby. I was woke when I had her. Of course, I was woke with all my other kids. I woke up midwise. But anyway, so I was telling her what hurted me so bad. But it wasn't my stomach. Which is kind of odd. The nurse is like, that's kind of odd for you to be hurting right there. But your stomach ain't hurting. You got stitches and staples. Nah, that don't hurt. I'm all right with that. But the point is, you do not forget. Same way when men have babies. I mean, not have babies. Oops. Be there when their child is born. They remember stuff. And I always tell people, when people have babies, and you know how that person is, you're not quite sure if they just had that baby or not, because some people be tripping. I'll be like, look at that umbilical cord. Look at that umbilical cord. Look how that's a brand new baby, 1 or 2 days old. Look how that baby folded up. They're not completely stretched out and all that. Every now and then they may make a stretch and move, but they not complete like, a 1 month old be. You know, it's a lot of stuff. As me being a doctor, you know, I know what to look for. But that's just some things you could do as a person on your own. Like I said, I'm just at it wit's end. I think I'm pretty kicking 60. And I just feel, you know, the government fucked up my life. Yeah, so many people pretended to do their job, and all they did was pass time and act like they looking into cases so they can go ahead and retire and did a damn thing. But see, they still involved because we got a lot of people with prior cases. You know that word they say in court. What's that word? Reinstate. Yeah. Yeah. It had got to the point where it's that I had got permanent restraining orders against 100 people. Over 100 people. And these end up being the same people. Excuse me, hold up. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Usually I just turn my head, but I didn't know how loud that'd be. Sorry about that. But I ran into people. I don't understand why people get mad when they tell you the bullshit they be on. They know you not like that. And they know you're not condoning it. You're not feeling, you know. I ran into a bunch of child molesters. Like Smokey Robinson them, and all them started hanging with Smokey Robinson. And they thought all this stuff was so cool. They thought it's cool. They grown butts start getting grown, thinking it's cool. It was 2 occasions, incidents. This place called the Oil Wells Housing Projects in East St. Louis. They always had, they used to be having picnics out there. So I had to go through there and see what was going on because them projects got a history of kids getting messed up. And then I had to make sure because they passed out flyers, had stuff in the paper. Okay, and you said y'all gonna have, you know, stuff for the kids, food for the kids, you know, bounce house, food, drinks, you know, games for the kids. It didn't say anything about feed or adults or anything like that. So I had to go out there and see if they holding up to what they said they was going to do for the children. So I go out there, this guy Bud, he was like, yeah, I got stuff for the kids. You know, he said, you know, I'm going to eat because I'm the one, you know, he said he the one that, you know, put everything out there. He was like, he was going to keep her out too. Because when he see me, he'd be like, oh, shoot, who messing with some kids? They know. They know. So, a couple of people that been knowing me, bust out, what's she out here for? What's she doing? And this, they was like looking at them like they're stupid. I said, what you mean what I'm out here for? I said, first of all, I can come anywhere I want to go. I can go, you know, but I'm like, what y'all on? What? They gonna tell me. I guess they was already drunk or something. Now they know I work for the FBI too. And they had been knowing, man. And they made a remark how they bragging how they molest us and kids need to learn to do this and do that. And a couple of people that was out there with kids was like, hey, get over here, go. Bud telling the kids, go to the bounce house, y'all. The food will be ready in a minute. Everybody trying to change conversation. This lady named Matt Rogers. They deal with Bernard Mosley. They call themselves Roger. I mean, they bragging about loving little kids sexually. This man, Robert Andrews, was like, hold up. He said, man, I don't know what the hell you on. He said, everybody I met, he said, everybody he messing with 19 and over. He said, nah, I ain't messing no kids. And he said, don't put me with my way. He told him, don't put him with his friends. Whatever they did. He said, he know them dudes wasn't no good. He said, but you'll never find nobody under 19 years old to say he been with them. He said, he packing too much. He too large in charge down there. He don't know too many. He don't know nobody young that could have handled him. So we like, okay. Which, that was the truth. Never found anybody that, So when kids used to be telling stuff, they'll say Robert Andrew. And they'll go over there. Well, he ain't the one. But his friend, I bet you know his friend now. Because his friend was getting a little girl pregnant. He ended up dying. But he left all the kids. He left them money when he died. They had to pay on it, you know. But he kept his word too. You know. And he claimed his kids. Even though he had kids by 11-year-old, 12-year-old, and he was already kicking 60-something. You know, so you know how his grown adult kids felt. They was like, oh, well, that's our little baby brother. That's our little sister, you know. And them kids looked like that, man. So then another time, they was having this party in Cahokia, which is also known as Cahokia Heights, at this little spot. Somebody called me live. What you doing? Why you ain't coming out here? Coming out where? Oh, no, I'm cool. Why don't you get a babysitter? No, I ain't get no babysitter coming nowhere. I say, y'all outside too and all. No, I'm just not feeling it. And the way they was talking, I'm like, when the hell I ever went hung out with y'all like that? I'm chilling. Then this young lady called herself Kim Bunton. In the background, because I was actually talking to this one they called Kim Combs, Kim Fortner. That's who called me. Asked me to come out the house. Then Kim Bunt come behind her. Oh, forget her. She don't do what we do and all this. Kim told, so what you talking about? Talking about, so she be tripping. Going off on me about my kids and so what? You know, Mike don't care and forget shaking him. So what? My kids told me she was at the brag about how her children been getting licked on and having sex before they could realize what it was. I'm talking about, she said, and Kim looking at her, she said, Shonda, girl, she said, I'm kind of glad you weren't standing right here because I know how you are. She's like, girl, and this, and oh my God, it was just one thing after another. Then one of my daughters was hanging over there. My daughter by Cheeks, the rapper Cheeks. She knows they kids. Come to find out all the time, she going over there, Tevin Campbell and them coming over there having sex with my daughter. I'm like, she was 13, Tevin. And I got on her too. You know, I'm like, you come over here, you doing all so you can have sex, do all this other stuff. And I snapped. I say, you know, you get sick real easy. What up? Yeah, I was furious. And I went off on, I'm talking about the single Tevin Campbell. He right there. You know, all of them was young girls. 13, 14, 15, whatever, you know. What you doing? That I put that on Facebook. I had been told them. And to get off my property. They just moved in. I evicted them. They came back, told me they'll do right, all this, and get off my property. Cause see, that's a 5-bedroom house. 2 bathrooms, nice size kitchen, nice size living room, nice yard. They got talking about, I said, how authority don't own my property? How authority went out there and told them to? Why y'all telling people them lies, telling their police that stuff? You know, they try and talk to the lady that work for public housing. Ooh, just give her this. She says she do not want y'all here. And that lady told her too. We know what y'all be doing. No, it's the most stuff happened. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. Or I had to send a real DCFS over there. You know? The people. And I could talk about this because this is public knowledge. And it is. Because some things have to be looked into. And those things that I'm talking about are not cases that I work. This is stuff that I stumbled upon. Because the stuff that they're saying there, it will make you pop up. And when you pop up, you see like, damn, they really doing this stuff. I tell Cheek's mama what's going on. She pulled up where I'm going off. I said, don't let her come back over with these people no more. I said, why you keep letting her just be everywhere? Well, they the same age and all this. And I had to get in my daughter business. You know? Yep. Some of these people ain't no good. Some of these people just ain't no good. Again, like I said, the only way I be knowing what they be doing because they run their mouth like it's okay. And it's not okay. You do not invite somebody else's child over to your home to get molested or treated wrong. You don't do that. See, that's when you open the doors to people talking too. Now, y'all wanted to keep y'all little hush-hush stuff with y'all children. Why did you involve mine? This one dude came on my house. I just know him like from seeing him around. He be here on TikTok. And I realized, I'm like, I know him from somewhere. I said, that's his ass. Well, that was like about 15, 16 years ago and that was something that he said. He didn't complete the action, but that's what he said. And I found out he was serious as hell. Now, I have a daughter, Jashira. At that time, she was in elementary school. Then I had my daughter, Jashira. She had not so long graduated high school. She was on her way to the military. She was kicking it. I said, oh, girl, you ain't finna be out here just kicking it. She was like, yes, ma'am, I'm going to get enlisted. And I know that's right. So, he come on to my house. Now, my daughter, Jashira, I didn't even know she was stripping at first. She danced like me. So, she said, Mama, I do all that stuff, you know, I was watching your tapes and stuff. That's how I know how to do it. I said, okay. Popping up places, she ain't horn or nothing. She doing it up in my clubs. I'm like, okay. Glad I took care of that. So he came over. And when he said, shower. Tell me something. Shoot, your daughter shower grown now. Till I got $400, come hang out with me. I said, shower who? Now, my shower. And my KK and them in the kitchen eating. I'm in the living room. And he was standing right there by the front door. And that's what he said to me. He had $400 to be with Shira. I said, Shira who? Now it was another woman, light-skinned woman, tall, be with this guy called Mr. Extravagant Reg. Or he calls himself Samson a God or whatever. I guess he still strip, I don't know. And he was dating this girl that started calling herself Shira Davis. I said, your name is not Shira. I say, every time I turn around, because everybody know my kids have unique names, and that's their real names. See how that's going? And I told you one that stripped, it was Jay Shira. And my daughter Ice, and the rapper Ice, that's my daughter. That's my daughter by the rapper Drake. So, he said that. I said, So my baby come out the kitchen. I ain't going nowhere with you for no $400. He said, what? He said, what they going off on me for? Both of them going off on them. Because my babies are very outspoken. No, I ain't talking about y'all. What's your name? And she was like, Shira. He said, what you mad for? Because this is my big sister. My big sister. Then he said, you got another sister named Shira? Yo, he was like, those your kids? Yeah, I got some. Yeah, those my babies. Yep, she in the kindergarten and the other one in the second. He said, girl, you still having all them kids. Yep, as long as God give them to me, I'm going to take care of them. I feel no birth is not a mistake. I've been like that. So he was like, no, I ain't talking about y'all. And he gonna talk about, I wouldn't give you $400 no way. You probably wouldn't know what to do. Start saying stuff like, ooh, get your ass up out of here. Because that type of shit on your mind. You know, and I said, you talking about my daughter, Jay Shira. He said, yeah, I seen that at the strip club. I said, well, that's what made you think she'll have sex? He said, I asked everybody. They say, she don't never leave. She'll be, with her other sisters and them or your sons. And he said, I didn't know that was your son. And my son, the one that was being with her, is the one that be on my network, BET. The one that we call him Monster. Got monster moves, all the Queen's men, and he'll be with them. They thinking that's her dude she dating. No, that's Big Brother. So, and my daughter Jay Shira, my son they call Monster. Well, we call him Monster, and Just Shira and them, all of them, they got the same daddy. So, we got some more kids. So anyway, I had to clear him out and rush him out the door with my baby KK. Yeah, you got to go on with that. You got to go on with that. You damn right. Because why would he even go into conversation saying, oh, I won't give you that much? No way, I'll probably give you $100 because I got to teach you to do this. And I said, oh, won't the devil bring it out? I said, Lord, always let me know the truth. Sometimes the guy gives me so much truth at one time, I'll be like, oh, I'll be overloaded. I'll be overloaded with the truth. I asked for it, and I received it. And some people was trying to make everybody else truth like it's mine. Now I'm going to end it with this girl named Star. I didn't know her or whatever. Her daddy used to be singing with Motown. I told y'all the history, what happened. My mom and dad got killed in my face and all this other stuff too. So, Star killed the baby, did this, killed the baby, all this. This is before all this happened, before I even had ended up at East St. Louis. Okay. And when they found out I was in East St. Louis, her dad and her mom now had told her to come. Now, I didn't really know. I didn't know a lot. Just, And Lorna, everybody else popping up. But let's get to the store before Lorna them came. And Nips them came. Before Snoop Dogg came. So, she always was having little problems and stealing and lying and just moved in one of my apartments and all this stuff. But some of the problems she was having, they wasn't my problem. My mom and daddy weren't trying to kill me. My mom and daddy did not send me off places to fend for myself. My mom and dad wasn't like that. Even when they fussed at me, it was all nice. I ain't gonna lie, I used to get yelled at sometimes. And my daddy used to be like, girl, wish you would grow. That's all I'm saying. Look at you. Every time he working, I see that's how I know how to work. I know how to work on cars and change parts and all that stuff. Yeah. We used to be at home. Well, he had some nice old school cars. And we was working on one before he got killed. Oh, that car was bad. And, because, my daddy owned Ford Motors. So, and it was just a bunch of stuff that, with her, it didn't concern me. People going around. It's one. Start supposed to kill somebody, baby. Did this, did that. This guy named Kenny Bo that know them started trying to put it on me, put her business on me like it's me. Me and one of my baby dads and brothers, we arguing and all that. He get all in our business, talking about like we was talking to conversations like Star was having about her problem. I didn't have that problem. I didn't have no money problems or anything like that. You know, I didn't have that problem. So, but I still used to help her, you know, because I couldn't understand how a person could do their child like that. They firstborn, lastborn, middle. You know, how can you leave your child out there to fend for themselves like that? Didn't give her no food stamps, no, I mean, nothing, you know. But I helped her. I got burned helping her, but you know. So, her problems was not mine. It was not mine, you know. So one day I went out there to the projects. I walked out there pregnant. I was talking to my baby dad and his brother. We was over somebody's house. They said it was in the projects at the big deal. And I didn't know. I said, well, I'm walking over there. And here I come, just be outside, sure. So we go in there and we talking, they saying stuff. We arguing, but we have that conversation where it's that, I know what he's saying. I say, quit lying. See how you full of shit? He's saying stuff back to me. Don't nobody know what the hell we talking about. The only thing that they keep hearing saying, both of us saying, you lying, you lying. This, that, and another, don't know what the hell we talking about. You know? And that's when a lot of stuff started too. You know? But like I said, bottom line, a lot of stuff occurred and people listening to stuff caused a lot of problems. Just like when me and Mike Jordan was dating. This is even before he went to see. I already knew Mike Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Derrick Rose, Allen Iverson, them. I knew all of them before the NBA. Because I was always going to see Allen Iverson. Even when I was with Cheeks. Oh, I'm finna go with him for like 2 weeks. Because me and Cheeks had broke up, but we still was cool with each other, you know? He still lived with me and everything, had his own. I ain't care about him having no. I enjoyed his company, and I liked it, the fact that the girls he would have over there want me to my baby, Bruno, and shit, I don't care. You know, they can bring their kids over there too. They get their stamps, go to the store, they'll cook. It's all good. I'm like that. It wasn't like that with me and him. You know? If he didn't feel like babysitting or whatever, his mama would give him a son, you know, it was cool. So, me and Mike Jordan, you know, he wasn't Mike Jordan. I don't want to start calling him last name Jordan for my Nike brand, because I own Nike, Converse, Puma, all that. So, Jumpman. And they didn't know all that. I never really told anybody all my business like that. Because it wasn't nobody's business. I don't think they know I was a teacher at that time at the elementary school. I taught 4th grade. And I was the only 4th grade teacher that also taught auto mechanic class. I taught basic things like how to change an oil, check the carburetor, install radios, change flat tire, that type of stuff. Where the meter look right there, you tell me you need some gas, check it all the time because that can break, all that type of stuff. Take your speed thermometer in the air to make sure that it's at 0 when you start your car before you can put it on the braking gas. You might have to get that calibrated. I taught them all that. But they still had to get their parents' permission, to do it. And I taught them how to paint cars and all that. I know how to do all that stuff. So, that's what I used to do. I enjoyed it. And every time I was doing it I miss my daddy though. Like I said, my daddy used to fuss at me with his big, deep voice. And one day he made me so mad he won't let me help with the car. Because he doing stuff and he dropped the part. He was like, girl, Jess. I said, well, and I threw it at him. He said, I'm sorry. I said, mama fussing at me, you fussing at me. I said, I'm finna go. And I took her walking down the street. My mama came, girl, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. She said, look, I can't wait till I have this baby so you can have something to do with your little smart self. She said, everybody sit around her and talk about you like you 4 or 5 years old. And you going on 12. I said, I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I miss them. I miss them so much. But all this stuff started because of Diana Ross. It's some more stuff that I felt that I can't even say it. I'll probably tell y'all this 20 and 30 years from now when I get old. But like I said, but I came from a loving family, you know. And I'm so glad my daddy knew some honest people like him. Oh wait. Cause when they found out where I was at in East St. Louis, they brought me my daddy cars. And I was like, oh, we used to ride around in one of them. I said, no, I'm do like we used to do. We only ride around in those nice days. If it's rain or something, leave it parked. Mm-hmm. We had 3 cars. And who we caught with the cars was Sam Cooke. He was trying to set Marvin Gaye up for extra stuff, and it was just one thing after another. Oh, Sam Cooke wasn't no good. You ever seen Sam Cooke? Mm-hmm. Boy, I know so much about these people. Mm-hmm. I was talking about, no, man, he had already gave it to me, and it was a damn lie. Oh, Lord. Nah, he already did, so he went to jail, though. He went to prison. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But everybody that was at Motown and my mom and daddy was gone, granddad and them daddy, they knew me, but they didn't know me. No, Marvin Gaye knew me. And you know, I was a very smart. He knew when nobody gonna get over on me. And when they was trying to sing songs that belonged to my mama and my daddy, know. Oh no, y'all gotta pay me. They be like, oh, let me sing this and that. You gotta pay me for that. And Tammy Terrell trying to lip sync. Oh, I get half of everything. If not all, because that's my mama singing. They be like, but your mama was Jamaican. Let me tell you something about some foreign people. Have you ever heard some foreign people sing? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of people that are foreigners that sing, and they sing English gracefully. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like some of them people from the UK when they talk and, you know, their dialects and all that stuff. You know. Now I did some little terrible singing on her. I know how to sing, but when I sing, ooh, I sing loud as hell. And I sound good. I'm talking my lungs and everything, esophagus, everything open up and stretch. My lungs fill up. But I sound good. When I be just trying to keep in mind, my voice sound kind of crazy. I just be trying to get the words out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I can sing. Yep. Mm-hmm. I even called a gospel singer up. Yolanda Adams. Oh my gosh, she's no good. Those my songs. And then be like, talk to me. Ooh, those my songs. And when my kids said, they said, Mama, that's what we sung at church. That's your music. I said, I know, I'm gonna get her. Mm-hmm. That's why she ain't did no shows, because she wasn't at no gospel explosions and all that stuff. Oh, it's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know how BT has started the gospel channel where anybody can get on there and sing, and no gospel people. And they found out I own BET. Woo, they wouldn't show up. Boy, them people that they was so, ooh, ain't nothing but the devil. They knew they did you wrong and they did not pay for that music. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they could have made it right there and the song they butts off and did a little promoter and gave me my money. That's what they could have did. And try to go off on the sideline and slink and do so. Because, see, they had messed up so bad. People knew me. But they did not know I owned them companies. They knew about Motown. People always knew affiliation with me, Shonda, with Shonda, and Motown. They did not know I owned Atlanta Records, Universal, Warner, Disney, all this stuff. BMI. I'm wrapped up in all this entertainment stuff. I'm so wrapped up in it. Have you noticed? Y'all on TikTok. So y'all familiar with music and movies and all that? You see ain't no new stuff came out. The last thing I made for Disney, I created Pixar and all that too. It's cartoons and stuff. The Incredibles and Firewater. I mean, all that stuff, Soul to Soul, and all learning things for children. Taught them easily about depth, how fire and water, about elements, elements and all this stuff. How sometimes some elements can get along even though they don't mix. The little shorts that be on there, the little quick things, and about Forky, and that's all me. And I had been so in depth with my Warner Brother, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. And I had my stuff on Channel 9 and Barney and all that stuff. Teletubbies, all that stuff. Now we have Jules TV. That's me. They have permission to use whatever music I did and change it to a form for a child, some kids' music, some little bitty kids' music. Because people still, the kids be at daycare, had their little parties, and they don't need to listen to our music like that. The music, it's just, and you know how Jules TV is. And they have control of it, to see this, to so this and that. Like I said, I always extend my hand and I appreciate help and just don't be trying to play me and get over on me. To see people they fail to realize I'll crush the whole thing and get rid of it and I'll start back up. They be like, oh, she ain't gonna do that because she ain't gonna make no money either. I'm not worried about that. Yes, because in the business world, I do worry about making my money back off my investments. And my first investment is invested in me. Because it's coming out of my pocket. I'm invested in me. Okay. I've been on her for a minute. I'm glad you all are listening. It's just sometimes I'm just be wanting to let it go. Everybody like, oh, don't get off on TikTok no more. Don't close out your social media pages no more. We have to start all over again. People lying, acting like this and acting like that. But y'all open the doors for them to do that. When I told those people, like with me, I had to pray to God and told my mama and daddy, woo-wee. Sorry, I had to lie on you a little bit about to claim all these other people some kin of us. They gone. They gone. I just had to figure out why in the world they despised y'all. Why? And my dad used to help people, my great-grandmama and them granny now. And them heathens at Motown. And shit. Now the whole time while everything going on, Barry Gordon telling the truth too. Before he did them interviews and all that, he'll have me right. I'm like, that stuff being recorded. He'd be like, didn't I tell y'all this, and that? That shit go talk to her. Oh yeah, man, we trying to, Because the reporters was like, it do look kind of fun how everybody did think Barry Gordy was profiting off of me and all that. And how wasn't nobody bothering him, trying to rob him and all this other stuff. See, Barry Gordon, I'm going to end it with this, knew what was going on. My daddy had hired Barry Gordon to work at Ford Motors. Didn't nobody know what Barry Gordon worked at. He worked the line, putting parts on and stuff. He had a job. Didn't nobody want to work and get their hands dirty with their punk asses. You know, making good money. Barry Gordon the only one who wanted some of that good money. That man ain't scared of hard work. Oh no, he ain't. I'm talking about he helped build the cars. And he also, at the end of the work, he'll stay and do the janitorial with my daddy. You know, sweep up the, stuff, extra screws, get everything clean. They'll be at work maybe like 10 or 12 hours. Or he'll stay there till my daddy get ready and leave and make sure line stuff okay. Yeah. And the last thing my daddy made was that motor. Oh, wait. And he was in a process of trying to, please do not contact me on here. And I do not want any co-hosts. So, my dad was in the process. We had to stabilize it because some vehicles couldn't handle that motor. Oh, it's made for racing. Speed. And I got the calibration right and got everything right. And it's another vehicles too. Yeah. I own racing cars and stuff too. F1. You know the trucks, all that stuff. I got a racetrack in Madison County, Illinois. Oh, and I got cars. I have not enjoyed. I had so many things else for me to do, and I had boys too, and I wanted them and my daughters to be part of stuff, And I did not realize my babies. Oh, I love them too. They pay so much attention to me. Somebody accused me of something. My baby Kyra was like, my mama don't steal. Talking about your brother this. She said my mama got her own banks. Because I own banks. I didn't even know she realized that. She told my mama own banks, and the police know that too, trying to see what the dude was on. Talking about rob some banks, and that's how I got my mansions and all that. He didn't know what the hell was going on, who I was, or nothing, for real. And my baby's like, shoot, she could steal from herself if that's what she want to do. I said, I ain't stealing from myself. I said, and all the money in my banks and mine, I got customers. They help keep it open too. I said, it was just, said what they know. So my mom ain't got to steal nothing. My mama own everything almost. Then I own the utility companies in Illinois and Missouri. I'm marrying UE. I own that. I had already been working on the new meters and all that type stuff for them, and I moved on my property on Fallen Springs Road. They came out, put my new meters in and all that, Then my workers, everybody else, we get first deal because the price, electric bills was dropping extremely. Dropping good. But I had already made it. We just had to get everything together. I always have been having stuff in the works. Always busy. Oh, okay. But let me get on off of here. My live is ending. Come on. Okay, I gotta get off here. My live, and I've been on here an hour. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following me. Even if you just be popping in from time to time, you're not even a follower. I appreciate it. I'm glad to know that you all don't mind getting to know me.